Once renowned for his money and power, a music mogul is now confined in a cage where there is little hope, and his own daughters are sharing every devastating detail.
You guys look good. Oh my God. You know what's so great? Listen, I'm a mom, and I feel like I've watched you guys grow up. How you doing tonight?
Great, amazing. We're super excited.
Yes, we're so excited for the show tonight.
Yes, we're very proud of our dad. We can't believe it.
Okay, wait, let me ask you this. Who takes longer to get ready, your dad or you all?
Our dad.
Our dad takes so long to get ready.
We take like 2 hours. He takes like 3.5, maybe pushing 4. But it's worth it. He does it because it's worth it. So.
I gotta tell you something. At the Met Gala, Diddy put on a show going up the steps, but then he left and gave like New York City an entirely different show after. I love it. I live for it. How proud are you of him?
Oh my gosh. I don't think you guys understand. We are so proud. Like, I can't even believe it's like it's here.
Yeah, we're so proud of like everything he's accomplished over all these years, and like for him to be honored as an icon this year is like really amazing.
And it's even big because it's global. It's the global icon. So it's like he's the icon of the universe, the world, everything. We didn't do that, but it's confirmed.
Let me ask you this, because I have 2 little girls, and it's different, right? Like not necessarily the persona, but how people know you, and then how your children know you are 2 kind of totally different things.
Yeah.
What kind of dad is Diddy? Is Sean Combs?
He's a very fun one. He's fun.
Definitely. He does a lot of adventures with us.
Yeah.
Like
he's structured as well. Like we have structure, you know. We don't get to do whatever we want. We don't get whatever we want. We're very like, you know.
he also has like a fun side.
We have fun with him, but then we have like the dad side. You have the dad side, the serious side, but then like the fun, chill, let's play, let's go do this.
This isn't just another celebrity issue. Diddy's terrible illness is one of the unpleasant realities of jail life that are exposed in this expose. Indeed, the same Shaw Diddy Combs that ruled the red carpet are noticeably less prevalent. He's lost weight. A strange nocturnal MRI further reveals the mystery. Underlying his pain, and his hair has become considerably whiter. We examine the terrible reality of life behind bars today, exposing the terrible conditions Sean Diddy Combs endures every day and the terrible toll it has on his family.
Been over a lot of disturbing things, and again, we are going through a lot of disturbing details today, so just a heads up there before we get into things. But yeah, lots to go over. Very, very
lots of lawsuits.
Freaky. Yeah.
Tons of lawsuits.
Not looking good
Leaked
for Diddy.
Jail call. We have a lot of victims coming forward telling their stories on docuseries and also filing lawsuits that are revealing a lot of new details that we didn't know before. And shit just gets scarier and scarier. I mean, this guy is just an absolute demon.
Yeah, he
monster.
really is. Yep. That's like the best way to describe him. He is
diabolical.
Such a vile, sorry excuse for a human being. And yeah, speaking of that, what was that docuseries on H? It's called The Fall of Diddy.
Yeah.
That is really well done. And if you want to hear directly from victims, I would definitely check that out. Especially the last 2 episodes really have some very, disturbing but important interviews.
Trial starts first week in May, so this is coming up really quickly. And Diddy is right now, every day we know this, hammering out what that defense is going to be with his attorneys.
And there are so many people who think he's dead to rights, that this thing is over before it begins.
It always feels like that, especially before federal trials, because you get to read the indictment. You have not all, but you have much of what the prosecution is going to be.
But there's something additional.
Of their strategy.
There's something additional here. You're right that they hear about all of that. But what they're also hearing is these other lawsuits that have been filed by all these civil law firms, and you're hearing about minors, which aren't going to be part of the criminal case. You're hearing about all these videos with celebrities, not going to be part of the criminal case. And the
Cassie video.
The Cassie video is going to be part.
Right.
We're going to get to that in a minute with the jury. But what we did was, number one, we showed them the prosecution's case from one of our documentaries. And then we showed them the defense from the current documentary. And we asked them to deliberate and to vote. Now, there are 3 charges that Diddy is on trial for. Racketeering, sex trafficking, and also the interstate commerce of prostitution. If you think this was a slam dunk, not with our...
Diddy currently lives a difficult and cruel existence while being sequestered in the special housing part of a notorious Brooklyn jail that was notorious for its violent history and terrible surroundings. Sources claim that despite his best efforts to maintain his optimism, he is being negatively impacted by the dire conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center. His once sharp features have grown gaunt, and the transformation is more than just a physical one. It is a frightening symbol of the fall of a once powerful empire. According to a recent New York Post piece, the mogul was much thinner and had graying hair at a pre-trial hearing, which was a sign of ongoing stress and deteriorating health.
I believe, based on reporting, that he's being housed in the MDC's special housing unit, which our understanding mostly consists of him sitting in his cell for 23 hours a day. This is due to safety concerns. In fact, here's his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, describing the conditions of the MDC.
Can you describe the conditions of the detention center right now for us?
So the food is inedible, from what I've been told. It's way too hot in the summer. Sometimes there's no heat at all in the winter. The toilet water has been known to freeze. It's violent. Someone like Mr. Combs, might be a target for certain things.
Okay, so what's going on here? How could this affect Sean Combs? Does this investigation have anything to do with the high-profile nature of Sean Combs' case? Well, let me bring in prison consultant Justin Paperny to talk a little bit more about this. Justin, so good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Before we even get into this latest development about what this investigation could be, what do you know about the MDC?
I know for quite some time they've needed long-term change there. Safety issues around the prison, the contraband. There is a problem at the top with leadership. When you're in high metropolitan areas, it's tough to get people to want to work there. There's high turnover. So this leadership failure is putting prisoners in jeopardy. There's very little accountability.
Scene. Once again, Diddy's communications made headlines. But this time, it went beyond his ongoing legal troubles. The music mogul recently appeared in court with a totally different appearance. His beard is bushy and his hair is gray, a stark contrast to his usually spotless appearance. Whether the change in his physical characteristics reflects the challenges he may confront in the future has been a topic of discussion. Diddy, who has made a fortune in the entertainment industry, is now involved in many legal battles that might significantly affect his personal and professional life. Due to lawsuits and federal investigations involving his court appearance, he is being closely watched. Those who have followed his career for decades know him as the confident, exaggerated figure behind several songs and business ventures, but his most recent public appearance left a different impression. He was dressed in a black suit and his beard and hair, both of which were visibly graying, gave him a more somber, reflective look. This suggests that he is under more stress and pressure, according to some observers. In recent months, Diddy has been involved in many legal issues. Allegations against him have led to federal investigations and lawsuits. Even while he has continued to deny any wrongdoing, the mounting legal problems have undoubtedly had a detrimental effect. Both supporters and critics have analyzed his recent look on social media, with many contending that it is a visual representation of the suffering he is experiencing or just a natural aspect of aging. Diddy has always kept his look well-groomed, therefore some have hypothesized that this latest shift may be an intentional effort to discreetly address his current problems. Diddy's problems, however, extend beyond his appearance. He is also dealing with an almost unthinkable circumstance on the inside. Even the rats, who are silent witnesses to his plight, are said to be forced to sleep on the ground in a small 8 by 10-foot cage with just a thin 1-2-inch mattress on a cold concrete floor. Mark Agnifilo, his attorney, stressed in court that being an inmate is a very difficult place. It serves as a sad reminder that no amount of fame can shield someone from such harsh situations.
The cell that Diddy is in, obviously I know that you haven't been there to see it, but just hypothesizing based on your familiarity with MDC. You mentioned 6 by 8 cell. What else is there? I mean, for those of us who are visualizing it, who haven't been inside, what would it look like?
So it would have a bunk bed style. So you'd have two beds on a bunk, and then they'll have a one flat mattress on both bunks, depending on if he has a cellmate. I'm not sure if he does or not. There's a desk, a small desk, a little chair, a sink, and also a toilet. And then there's typically a small mirror, not necessarily glass, but there's something in there so that way you can have a reflection of yourself in terms of grooming on a day-to-day basis.
There have been some reports that Diddy has gotten quote unquote special treatment in the way that he's gotten different food than other inmates or more shower time perhaps. Do you think any of that has any merit?
Well, I would ordinarily, I would say no. He would not be getting any special food because when you're talking about a jail operation with thousands of inmates, the food is actually prepped 3 days in advance because the food is actually cooked in one area. Then they're boxed up and put on carts and then moved to the various units in the East and West building. So I would say no. Now, in terms of if he's not like a meat eater, there's what we call a common fare, where they have vegan and vegetarian options and that nature. But no, he would not be receiving any special diet or meal. There's a national menu that each institution has to go with.
But for now, Diddy is behind bars at MDC, this Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. And his team has brought up some concerns about this place. I mean, by all accounts, it's not a great place to be, not that any jail is, but the conditions sound a little bit worse than maybe other jails out there. Do you think if he isn't granted bail, his team could still say, hey, let's transfer him to a new one ahead of the trial?
They're going to try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution. It sounds like there's enough evidence there that they can argue with a straight face that we had a basis to go forward, right? There's so many people coming out of the woodwork that no one's going to say that they were malicious about this. They went after him without any evidence, without any basis for it whatsoever. But certainly there are things that can be done, but the truth is every jail is bad and some jails are worse than others. And the problem again is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail is not your first argument. That's sort of everything else failed. Judge, let me at least earn my keep and get something better for my client than this horrible place that he's in. And they are going to be saying it over and over and over. Innocent till proven guilty. You're putting an innocent man not just in jail, but in a place that's not just a holding place. It's a place that's terrible, especially for him or for anyone.
Despite the grimness of his cage, Diddy's heart remains with his family. One of his 7 children, Quincy Justin Christian King Chance's twins, Jesse and Delilah, and his 2-year-old daughter Love, are his glimmer of light in an otherwise dismal existence. Insiders who talked to TMZ said that Diddy is doing okay, but that his true anguish stems from his inability to be there for his kids. A relative of the child's remarked, "People closest to him are trying to process the situation, but they all know they have to be strong for the kids' sake." This sentiment is reflected in every Instagram post and quiet comment made by his kids, who are now responsible for continuing their father's legacy.
Combs' family has shown their support throughout this whole process. They have been going to court hearings. They have been posting on social media. In fact, 2 weeks ago, Quincy, Combs' adopted son, posted a photo of the family on Instagram that included Combs' mother Janice and his youngest child's mother Dana Tran. And the post read, "The past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad." But it is a birthday phone call with Sean Combs on the other end that is getting a lot of attention right now. And to set the stage, Sean Combs, he shares 7 children with 4 different women. So the oldest in the group, Quincy Brown, isn't actually Combs' biological son, but he was later adopted. He is the son of Kim Porter and singer and songwriter and record producer Albie Shore. He was named after his godfather, the legendary Quincy Jones, who, by the way, actually just passed away over the weekend. Combs' first biological child, who he had with fashion designer Misa Hilton, was born in 1993. We're talking about Justin Combs. He was thrust into the public spotlight in 2008 on MTV's My Super Sweet 16, where he was featured alongside his dad. Now we move on to Christian Combs. This was Diddy's first child with model Kim Porter. Christian, who goes by the name King Combs, has followed in his father's musical footsteps. He's launched a rap career of his own. He also does modeling. Chance Combs was born to Diddy and businesswoman Sarah Chapman, who was apparently Combs' friend at the time. The two never really publicly recognized their relationship. But just months later, Porter and Combs welcomed twin girls, Delilah and Jessie.
Happy birthday. Keep going.
Happy birthday to Daddy. Keep going, love.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Yay!
We love you too.
Love you, Pastor.
I can't wait to see y'all.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see y'all. And I just want to say I'm proud of y'all, especially the girls. I mean, all of y'all, but just for being strong. Thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world. My birthday, I'm happy. Thanks to y'all giving me this call. Thank you very much. I love y'all.
We love you more too. Can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
I'll see y'all in a couple of days.
Say it again.
What you say?
I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
I love you too, baby.
Again, it's just wild because this is really the first time that we have heard Sean Combs' voice. Since what? When he publicly apologized on Instagram back in May after CNN published the 2016 video of him beating his ex-girlfriend Cassandra Ventura in a hotel hallway? He made an apology. 2 days later? We heard him then. Haven't really heard him since. So to hear his voice, and honestly, what seemed to be joy as he's locked up, facing these very serious charges that could send him to prison for the rest of his life, kind of surprising to hear that.
Their excursions have taken on a depressing tone as they attempt to combine their developing public personalities with the reality that their father is jailed. They now sporadically mention his suffering in their social media postings. An image of their dinner table with a chair empty for the family. An enigmatic caption that references a father who has passed away yet is never forgotten. Their 700,000 followers react strongly to these posts, feeling both anger and sympathy.
I chatted with your papa last week, because he's got this new album, the Love album, off the grid.
Can't wait. The best album of the year, guys. Like, seriously, we've been listening to it for years.
And it's amazing. We've seen it, be created and,
bottom to top, and it's killer. The development is, woo.
So you're proud of your papa on this one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely got a different vibe and tone. It's definitely more R&B of Diddy, right?
Yeah, it gives you the R&B, just like love. It's just love in the album. Love era.
He is so in his love era. I was like, Diddy, okay, I've never seen the side of you. Is he ready to find real, true love? Has he found it, ladies? Oh, you looking at me like he told me he was single.
I don't think he's found it yet, but who knows? I think he's searching for love. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? We don't know.
Do y'all ever chime in on who Dad's dating?
No. We leave that to him.
We leave that to him.
You know better, right?
Yeah, but we do if it's not good, then we put it in check. Definitely, but it's just
inspect the situation.
Yeah. We let him do his thing most of the time.
You're his number one, ladies. Let's be real, okay? We also got Little Love.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that little one is precious.
It's amazing. We love her.
I know, right? And that hair. Oh my gosh, she's got a head full of it.
The curls are popping.
I know. And your papa seems so excited to be having a little one in the mix. And I'm sure.
Diddy's recording mogul father issues an apology when unsettling surveillance footage is made public, and Kimora Lee Simmons promises to vigorously protect Diddy's children, Jessie and Delilah.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
As a parent, you are concerned. You care about their security and the model praised the twins and their prom pictures on Instagram, telling the teens, "I am so very proud of you, my babies." Kimora is in tears by the accomplishment. 5 years after their shared loss, she has a tight relationship with their mother and Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Kim Porter. Kimura took on the role of caregiver for the girls after Kim's death in 2018. And now, over 5 years later, she promises her late friend's kids, "I love you always and will protect you fiercely to the end with all I have." My heart will always be broken by losing Kim in that way. The mother bear attitude is easy for the mother of 5, of course.
They're good kids, and they're active members of society, and they're engaged, and they're happy. I think that's saying a lot.
Diddy's outward signs of distress are becoming worse in the meantime. Insiders reveal that Diddy had a strange MRI done late at night, which is a very alarming development. According to a report on page 6, he complained of a knee ailment and was brought from the Metropolitan Detention Center to Brooklyn Hospital at about 10 p.m. for a non-invasive examination. This covert hidden medical scan raises more questions than it does answers. Why would a man in his state need such a secret, urgent examination? Is it a sign of more severe health issues exacerbated by the harsh conditions of his confinement?
Combs reportedly underwent treatment in a hospital as he continues to await trial on trafficking charges. According to page 6, the 55-year-old was transported from Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, the federal prison where he was sent following his September arrest, late January 30th to undergo an MRI and was then soon returned to police custody later that night. The outlet cites a source as saying that the medical scan was authorized because his knee was bothering him. E! News has reached out to reps for Diddy and the Federal Bureau of Prisons for comment and has not heard back. Grammy winner's attorney, Mark Agnafilo, tells TMZ, quote, "I cannot comment on anything related to prisoner movements. Also, I'm not commenting on anything related to possible medical issues." Diddy had shared in a since-deleted Instagram post in 2017 that he had undergone his 3rd knee surgery in a year. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has neither confirmed nor denied the reports about Diddy's hospital visit. A spokesperson for the government agency tells the New York Post, quote, "For privacy, safety, and security reasons, we do not comment on the conditions of confinement for anyone in our custody to include medical status or medical trips." The hospital visit allegedly took place hours after federal prosecutors filed a new criminal indictment against the rap mogul, accusing him of coercing 2 additional women into commercial sex acts. No additional charges are included in the new filing, as the original September indictment had referenced 1 female victim. His lawyer has accused the prosecutors of making a major error in the new indictment.
Yes, he is definitely taken out time. And I'm sure he's arranged those weeks in advance to make sure that the clinician or that clinician is going to be available to take a look at whatever issues he may be experiencing right now. So that way, there's not a whole lot of onlookers, even with staff and inmates, it gives them more opportunity to make a phone call, to their family. Hey, he's going out to the hospital right now. If anybody wants to take a look at him, head out there. And then I think the other thing, Sierra, is since there are no cameras in the courthouse throughout this process, we've only been getting the sketch art views, their perspective of what it looks like. So I think that people have been talking about in a moving way, things like that. So I know folks probably want to get a photo of him to see what he actually looks like. And I mean, if he does have issues with his legs, or leg, does he have a chain or anything like that? So yeah, I think that's the reason why we make this measure, which I've never seen in my career. Someone taking out to the hospital time of night or something.
The same system that once celebrated his influence now subjects him to conditions that mirror the most heinous aspects of prison life. He is accused of prostitution, transportation, trafficking, and racketeering. Diddy's legal battle is both intricate and spectacular. His prosecution, which was brought under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, or RICO, has disturbing parallels to other well-known cases, including R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein, according to legal experts. This goes beyond the demise of a single person and is a brutal depiction of a system that is determined to destroy even the most potent of symbols.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs vowing to fight for Combs after a judge denied the rapper and music mogul bail and ordered him to stay in federal detention until the beginning of his criminal sex crimes trial. Combs faces 3 federal charges: racketeering conspiracy, taking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty to those charges. In an unsealed indictment, prosecutors allege Combs, quote, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct, unquote. It goes on to say, quote, on numerous occasions, from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them, unquote. Combs has been, for years, a celebrated artist. His work is credited with growing the hip-hop genre and cultivating top artists such as Christopher Wallace, better known as Notorious B.I.G. And now Combs is obviously a criminal defendant. CNN's Ellie Honig for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York joins us now. Ellie, as he was leaving court today, Combs' attorney said they're appealing the decision on bail. How likely is that appeal to succeed?
Right, Jake, so people understand what happened. The judge who made the decision today was a magistrate judge. That is essentially a judge who handles ministerial tasks, initial appearances. Tomorrow, the defense will take the case to the district judge. That's the judge who will handle this case all the way through trial. If I had to guess, I would say the district judge will agree with the magistrate judge and keep Sean Combs locked up.
I mean, most of these charges are so serious, the allegations are so serious, and it's not surprising that this hearing he was denied bail. The judge has to look at things like whether or not he would expect to return to court. Does he have the manner and means to perhaps evade law enforcement and not appear? Is he a flight risk, in other words? And so I think at this point the judge has decided that the fact that he was doing these acts in secret did not obviously lend much to his statements that he will be open and available. So not surprised at all, but again, you will see what the district judge now does since the case has been, the decision has been whether or not there are some terms of bail that might make the court acceptable. You will show up in court.
Now, turning to the charges themselves, they are amongst the most serious, which would involve very long periods of incarceration if convicted. But it also raises the question, if there was a plea deal at some point in the future, to plead down from these very serious charges, the lesser accepted offences would also be serious and could end up in prison.
I think you can complete discussion of the case because you have such significant impact on the victims of the case. It would necessitate that he be sentenced to prison in some way. You just don't think that the judge would take and place him on probation, some type of house arrest, given the allegations that were made, no matter what the plea discussions were. Remember, the prosecution and the defendant can negotiate a plea amongst themselves, and the court has the decision finally on whether or not to accept that recommendation, and if they have the authority to make a decision on whether or not a prison sentence.
As this narrative progresses, one thing is clear. Diddy's kids have not only revealed shocking details about his prison situation, but they have also spurred a broader conversation about the human cost of a system that prioritizes spectacle above compassion. With every devastating fact, raw Instagram photo, and anonymous insider tip, we are one step closer to understanding the full scope of this modern-day disaster.
Being in prison at this time, I think it just aligns with what's been going on for quite some time. I will say I think it's concerning that they're not going to share details of the investigation until it's complete. The biggest problem is the lack of transparency and accountability. And until that changes, it's going to be more of the same, more prisoners getting hurt, more safety issues, more settlements that taxpayers fund. Bureau of Prisons needs more accountability. Until that happens, we're just going to continue to have these calls in the weeks, months.
As a result, as the trial, set for May 5th, 2025, draws nearer and each new development fuels public speculation, we have more questions than answers. Is this the last clue to the brutal truth of Diddy's imprisonment? Press the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications buttons to keep yourself informed of every step of this thrilling tale.